But I'll start at the very beginning.
So what are you doing?
I'm just drawing a circle on this glass, and I'm going to cut that out. And that'll be my glass piece. So we're just going to cut some of the glass out here. And you just want to hear that nice little sound. And you have a scratch on there now. And I'll use my running pliers. And it usually takes me about 3 or 4 times around. If you really want to do this like all in one circle, you get on the corner of a table and you start here and you just go all the way around. But I find it works just as good to go about 3 or 4 times. If you have a grinder, you can grind these little tips off, but I'm not going to worry about it too much here today. I always, before I copper foil things, I always grind these edges because it's really easy for the glass to cut right through the copper. Go all the way around. Next step is to put your copper on. Then you want to decide which side of your glass is the pattern that you want. And this is just like copper foil, only it's a sheet of foil. So it's got sticky. On one side. So we're just going to cut off all the excess. Okay, so now I have my round. And I want to make sure that it fits. And I always like to tape this on. So I do it down here where I don't have any lines. Like that. And then you just take a ballpoint pen and you're just embossing this. And you would just draw all the way around.
Oh.
And I'm not going to draw the whole thing because you're getting the idea. But I have one here where I've drawn the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just take your X-Acto, and ideally you have a sharp X-Acto. And again, you can sharpen it on here if you want. I think this one's pretty sharp. And we're just going to literally cut all this out. I usually like to stand up at a high table, so I'm just trying to find...
You use a fair amount of pressure?
Yes, you do. Well, I'll just do 2 of these here. But basically you just go and you cut the whole thing out. You have more control if you hold your blade as straight up and down as you can.
Looks a little scary.
So here's just 2 parts of the tree cut out. Here's one that's already cut out.
Perfect, okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to take this copper foil. This is 7/32. This is a very standard size. This is the hardest part. And I always like to start in a place, I'll start at the base of my tree so that that's where my overlap's going to be. And you want to put the foil on so that it's equal on the front and the back. So I have this handy dandy fid here that I use, which most fids are made out of plastic, but you know, you could use a Sharpie, but I like a clothespin because it's wood, it's got a little give to it. And I'm just burnishing this down onto the glass along the edge, and then you can see the edge is still really wrinkled,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to do the same thing. Okay, so now I have a nice edge.
Nice.
This is oleic acid flux.
Yeah.
Who's using normal?
Flux is a chemical that cleans the oxidation off of the metal, and it also causes the solder to flow. And you know, when I'm teaching the kids, I always say, now, where have you heard of flux before?
Capacitor.
Yeah. So hopefully they've heard of the flux capacitor through the DeLorean. So I'm just using a Q-tip to get some flux around the outside, because I'm going to do the outside first. I usually set this on about 70%. And we were talking earlier about the tin or the lead, the solder. This solder happens to be 50-50, which is the old style that was used. I usually use 60-40 now. 50-50 works good for this because it's a solid piece and it's not going to go anywhere. If you want it to melt and then freeze real fast, you want to use 60-40 because it takes about 1 second to go 12 degrees from the melting point to the freezing point. Here's this example. This is kind of a cutaway without the backside soldered to show you how a window is made. And then the other side I've soldered. All right, we're melting here now. So this is gonna go real fast, but I'm gonna do the outside edge first. And I just melt my solder. And I just kind of spread it around the edge.
Oh.
So what are the two metals? It's tin and silver? Or
Tin and lead.
lead. Tin and lead. And then you can have silver and tin, right?
Well, that's a different kind of soldering. Ruth can tell you about that kind of soldering. Some people call this soft soldering. Whereas if you're making jewelry, you're going to want to use silver.
Silver.
Yeah, I have a sheet here. If you want lead-free solder, it's a combination of tin, copper, and zinc.
Oh, that's right.
And here's the melting freezing points of all of them. And we're talking 414 degrees, I believe, on the one I'm using right now. So I've done the outside. It's still pretty hot.
It didn't take much to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that flux, it just causes that to cover all the metal, but none of the glass.
Oh.
All right, so I'm going to put some more flux on the inside, and you can get the flux on the glass. It doesn't really hurt. To me, the lumpy one looks a little more natural. So I'm just going to start here and just cover.
I like lumpy.
So does the
And
I like
go ahead.
does it go just on?
Just goes on the copper.
I see.
And you just kind of get a feel for how much you want. You don't want it flat. You want it kind of raised up just a little. So you raise your iron up off of the. Wow. Okay, so that's real rough. Let's see how hot it is. That's pretty hot. I haven't finished it yet. You can do at this point. Well, I can still do this side. I find this is the glass technique that's the hardest on your hands. because you're dealing with chemicals and of course heat.
Probably like a kitchen that wouldn't do that well.
Yeah. Alright, so then the way I do the edge here, like I said, there's probably enough flux on here. And I probably make this look a little easier than it really is. Alright, so now let's done the back and the sides, the edges. Okay, so you want to grab a hold of this ring. This ring is a copper wire with tin on the outside of it. And I want to put a little bit of flux on there. So think about how you want this to hang. A lot of people would put it on the same plane as the pendant, but if you want to hang it like this, you want to put it at a right angle. So you just want to think about that ahead of time. Okay, and you want to bury that little seam. You need to put this so that I can hold it. What I like to do is, see, that's just barely on there. Let's take a little solder. Ooh. Off on my finger. Put a little solder on each side of it. Let's see, this is the hard part. This is if you want it to be the shiny silver color. I was going to make this copper color, put some patina on here so you can see what that looks like. So I'll clean all that polish off. I might even get some steel wool to polish it up a little, rough it up. And if you have a magnet handy, I don't know, did I bring my magnet? Yeah, I did. You can just pick up your steel wool like that. I find steel wool really messy and that really picks it up good.
That's awesome.
Okay, we'll polish it in the sulfate in hydrochloric acid. Not very strong. It's kind of a real pretty turquoise color. Okay. And this is going to be like magic. Okay, I've kind of put on one layer here. Let's see.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you just keep rubbing it till you get it the way you want it to look. And sometimes it'll look more antique than it does shiny, and if you like it antique, you leave it that way.